former Queensland Red superstars Aidan Toa and Dallin Murphy. Lads, how are we?
Hey, boy, yeah, mate, good, really good.
Very, very excited to be here, obviously.
Bit nervous.
A little bit nervous. On our bench, the battlers, the gruesome twosome, Big Fat Darcy, Ryan Fellini.
Fellow Terration, mate.
What do I ask him? I don't really have a question, mate. How are you? I love you, mate.
Yo ma, and welcome to the PAC Show, proudly brought to you by PAC Athletic Club and DoubleTake Sports, the show that brings you all the highlights, the lowlights, the reviews, the previews, news and the interviews from rugby here in Australia and around the world. My name is Jay Ball, and joining me once again, we've got Aidan Toa, we've also got Dallin Murphy, and unfortunately, we don't have Big Fat Dar, so the kill switch. Fortunately, we don't have Big Fat Dar, so the kill switch is all by himself. You look a bit lonely over there, Fringe. You right, mate?
I'm crook, so it's probably good. It's probably a good thing.
You're in ISO over there, mate.
Yeah, I'm in ISO over here, mate.
You're not feeling too well, mate.
No, I got
Sound terrible.
Yeah. No, well, the kid's been sick for like a month, and I'm like, I'm going to get it at some stage. And everyone at work's been sick. Everyone's getting pumped, and then right at the end, it's like, oh, it's your turn, Ryan. So hopefully, I had a couple of naps today.
Yeah, I feel your pain though. My kids have been sick for a couple of weeks now, and then the last couple of days haven't felt great. Sounded a bit like you.
Literally, like in a meeting yesterday, I was sitting in there within like half an hour, just deteriorating.
Yeah.
I was like, just get out of here, mate. I'm like, I can do an hour on the couch talking shit. So I'm here.
Yeah,
I was actually thinking about like, I don't know if I can do it.
No, you weren't.
I had a 15-minute power nap and I was sweet.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Well, look good, feel good, friends. Got a huge episode this evening. Joining us, we couldn't get him last week, but finally got him this week. Lucan Salakai Lotto will be dialing in to have a yarn with the lads. He's off to Northampton, I think, in just a few weeks' time, so it'll be good to pick his brain. We're all going to be discussing the England squad, probably giving our 23 that we think should be starting this weekend. We've got plenty of news. There was tons of footy to get through, some big upsets both in Shoot Shield. I'm sure you're keen about that, Dos.
Can't
and
wait.
QPR. UQ, 3 on the trot, down the doggies.
Boom!
So good, man.
I haven't seen this happen since I think I first got into like Premier Grade back in the day when they were crap. And all I've been doing my whole amateur, whatever you call it, rugby life was playing those fuckheads in finals. And it would be good to see him out of the 4.
Well, mate, remember
Not nothing against Hino, but it'd just be good to change it up.
Yeah,
get someone random
bring him
in
down
there.
a peg or two.
Yeah, and just make sure Jeeps are in there, but everyone else, whatever.
Well, mate, a few years ago, I think they'd only won 2 games in the first
I know.
round of the season. I said, yeah, they're not going to play finals, and they went on an 8-1 run and win the granny.
But it was
what
halfway through the year.
Yeah.
They were playing West at West, and if they'd lost that game, they were out of the finals.
And good old West snatching
And I think
defeat
they
from the
beat-
jaws of victory.
And they beat West by 50.
But that year they had Tate McDermott, Harry Hawkins.
Yeah, they had a lot
Jock,
coming in late.
Lot
But
of
still,
cavalry.
they were one
But a
victory
lot of
away.
those players didn't come until right at the end of the
correct.
season
Yeah.
too. So
Well,
they actually,
exactly.
I think it was, they went on like an 8-1 run in that back end of the season.
Harry Hawkins was...
He's player of the year,
Yeah.
player of the grand final.
He
He
was
was amazing.
unbelievable.
that game, yeah.
He is very good.
Very good.
Very good.
Awesome,
We
mate.
should get him on the blower soon, I reckon. He's good value, Hocko.
Is
Get
he?
him back in Aussie
Yeah.
rugby too. We've also got a special interview. I think Gregor the groundsman said he's keen to have a quick yard, so I don't know what that sex pest weirdo freak's going to be talking about, but it's going to be very weird. But in the meantime, it's time for PAC News.
That's awesome.
He's slowly becoming the funniest guy I know.
Mate,
Big fat ass.
he really, mate, he's hilarious.
He's right up there. Like, I love him.
Oh, man.
Some of the especially like the intro, like just the whole dialogue is just amazing, isn't it?
And then he's like pretends to be embarrassed, but he's like,
Yeah, secretly he loves it. It's like he's similar to Johnny Brown a bit. He's got that real awkwardness
Yes,
about him, but it's sort of like
And you don't know if the awkwardness is like legit or
Nah.
he's just playing on your. Oh, mate, I hate his guts so much, man. He's so funny, eh?
He's brilliant.
He's not even here, and he still finds a way to stitch us up.
that's
That was a good one. Good one, Zach boy. Oh, that was so good. So first off the bat, last week, literally 15 minutes after we wrapped up our show, they announced the England touring side to come over for the first match this weekend. 2 big ins in Billy Vunipola and Danny Kerr, but I'll run through the players that aren't going to be here because I think they're massive outs. Alex Dombrand, Joe Thokinasinger, George Ford, Sam Simmons, Henry Slade, Manu Tuolungi, Kyle Sinclair, Anthony Watson, Lewis Liner, George Fairbanks, and Ben Youngs. So they've still named a pretty bloody good squad, but Dow, they are some big outs. Alex Dombrand did his knee just, I think, in the warm-up to that Barbars game too.
Yeah, and obviously a vast amount of experience, right? These aren't just guys who are playing good footy. It's a lot of experience there and guys who've been around for a long time. So I think they're a bit vulnerable, in my opinion, coming down under. There's a lot of young kids coming through. You see some of the guys they've named are quite young. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually fare.
Do you reckon that's why Eddie Jones probably did bring back Billy Vunipola and Danny Kerr? Two guys that have pretty much been in exile for the better part of 2-3 years are now brought back on an Aussie tour sort of out of the blue.
Yeah, I think you have to, right? If you look at the amount of people and the amount of experience that is out, they need it. They definitely need it. And it's a big, in my opinion, it's a big test series for him personally. You know what I mean? If he comes down and gets whitewashed 3-0, might
It's just that face to him, be like, oh, that didn't go to plan.
You can do Aussie accents as well. Who knew?
Oh, nail that.
I like his What about bloody Cruz? It's his last bloody game. You know, we should be celebrating that. No one's thinking that. No.
All right,
And all the media just like, no, Eddie, you lost 55 points to the Barbars. Yeah, it was good.
But Dos, I mean, still a bloody good squad, but you wanted to in particular really run through what we reckon the 23 is going to look like this weekend.
For the Wallabies?
Yeah, for the Wallabies, because I think this is a very, very good opportunity for us to sneak up on the Poms.
Oh, mate, 100%. And I mean, you know, when were they last year? 2016? And they wiped, they wiped us 3-0.
Yeah.
That team was pretty gun, though.
The England team?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the England... And so I think, and I think we have a really strong Wallaby contingent this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you can read into England's loss to the Barbars the other week. But, bringing Billy Vunipola and Danny Kerr back is definitely, a ploy from Eddie Jones, bringing that experience. They know what Aussie conditions are like. They know what to expect, mate. They'll fit seamlessly back into their systems. But yeah, mate, I think Australia have a really good chance to, go 3-0 up.
Well, why don't we go through it then? We were saying our front row, I mean, there's options there. No Taniela Tupou. That's absolutely massive. But
Yeah, so is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Well, it's been confirmed. No, I don't know if it's confirmed. So unless Dave
It's
Rennie's...
been confirmed by way of, we don't want to do what we did to Pocock a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's,
So
that
it's not
right
a
there
little,
is just...
cheeky emotional terrorism. with
That's
Eddie.
what I thought. I don't know whether Dave Rennie's playing games or they're just like, no, he's out. And then all of a sudden he rocks up on game day. So
true. All right. Well, fuck me
How
then.
good's that?
no, I don't know.
This
I'm
is just
speculating.
including 15 minutes on Rugby Explorer. Old Dave Rennie, yeah.
Name withheld.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll just.
Well, we were saying we reckon our front row will be Bell, Parecki, and Alan Alatoa.
Yeah. I think that's probably been the form front row in Super Rugby.
Yeah.
And I'd say maybe that's the one that they go with.
Especially with no Nella. Then on the bench, we're thinking Folau Fainga'a, Scotty Seo, and James Slipper.
reliable
James Slipper to be
Slips.
able to fill that tight head spot in a pinch.
Yep.
So that's probably it from our account. Starting second rowers, Dow, you reckon Darcy Swain and Caden Neville.
Yeah, I just don't think they'd bring Neville in unless they were going to play him. You know what I mean? Someone at 33 years of age, why would you kind of bring him in for those reasons? So I reckon
point.
he'll start. I reckon Swain will start. And then on the bench...
I'd love to see Nick Frost.
Same.
Over Matt
I'd love to
Yeah.
see Nick Frost. You know what I mean? I think he's playing some good footy. But
Just a little
you
bit
can-
more dynamic.
He is.
Yeah.
But you can understand if they went for the safe option and picked Phillip, you know what I mean, on the
Some
bench.
experience,
Some
yeah.
good experience.
Nah,
Yeah,
boo that.
No.
I'd
Nick
love
Frost
to
would
see.
be awesome.
Well, then back row. Then what are we thinking? There's so many options here. I think Samu's probably going to be on the bench because he can cover all those
Versatility,
options.
Yep.
Um,
Hooper starts at 7.
Hooper starting at 7. So really 6 and 8 are the only two. You got Wilso who can play 8, Valentini who can play both, and maybe
And
Rob Leota as another option at 6. Dow, what do you reckon?
I think it'll be Valentini, Hooper, and Wilson. That's what I'd like to see.
Yep.
I'm with Dal. That's the combination I would like to see as well.
And then in the halves, what are we thinking? Tate and QC.
Yeah,
Love to see
boy.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
He's back, baby.
Tate and QC. And then in the centres almost picked themselves. We'd love to see Izzy Parisi or Jordan Pataia, but you can't go past Stiffy Towel, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Len Stiffy Towel outside Samu Krevi, man.
Yeah.
I think it's just such a great balance.
Yeah, you get
know.
the strong defensive presence of Len at 13 and, well,
He's
yeah,
big
Samu
too. He's
Krevi,
quite
Samu
solid.
And I
Krevi.
mean, like, and Samu, he provides that, straight up and down, and then he'll provide that go forward. Mate, Lenny's attacking game, I don't even want to say it's underrated because it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Mate,
Yeah.
he's got the awesome little sleight of hand, his footwork at the line, he's got a strong right arm fend.
Little kicks. Little
Yeah,
dinks
he's
he
got a
puts
good left
through.
boot as well.
Little grubbers.
Yeah.
And then the back three, does that pretty much pick itself? Marika,
Yeah,
Callaway,
they'll go with the
Banks.
incumbents. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And
as
then,
tempting
so
as
what
it
we're
is, as tempting as it is to give Geordie Pataia a
I'd
crack.
love to see Geordie Pataia at fullback. I think long term he will be. I think I mentioned it the other week how Michael Checker said 3 years in a row now Banks has started with the 15 jersey, hasn't finished it. He's got an opportunity now. He's going over to Japan with the big money. Like, I think he needs to have a huge season this year to really sort of just, I don't know, have a bit of a swan song on what will probably be his last chance holding that 15 jersey.
Yep.
If he can do that and then go to Japan and kill it, he could be one of the Giddo Law guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if he shows that he is that international standard fullback that we've been hoping he would be.
Yeah.
And then our back subs, Nick White, James O'Connor, Jordan Pataia, they pretty much picked themselves as well.
Yep.
Sweet as. So that's our 23 for this weekend. Do you reckon it's going to be anything like that?
Probably not.
Are there any locks in there that you like? Are there any players that you think definitely will be in there that people may not think would be a smoky, like a Dave Parecki? Do you think he's got that
I
jersey
think
locked
he has
in?
to,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
He's been pretty good all year, hey?
He's been awesome.
Consistently.
Consistently awesome. And he's experienced too. And he spent 5 years playing over in the Premiership.
Correct.
So he's got that experience there. Another thing as well, geez, the Rebels, I mean, there's been a lot of signings, which is to be expected. We've seen Flower Garb signing with the Force, Chase Tia, but the Rebels, man, they are going hard under Nick Stiles. Sam Talakai's back. Twain is going down. Alex Murphy. Ananurangi's signed, and they've also locked in guys like Stacey, Illy, and Cameron Orr. And we can announce officially, it's an exclusive, Samu Krevi has signed a 3-year deal with the Rebels starting next season.
Really?
No. Can you imagine, Bart?
I was just like,
When I was saying that, man, Doss was like,
This is amazing.
I was like, this is unreal.
can you imagine, Bart? Let's start. You
was
said
really-
last
I was like,
week we should
J-Ball-
start the
J-Ball
River
with the
Freeze.
connection.
yeah, you did, and I'm looking shocked.
Yeah.
It was your idea, mate.
Oh, man.
Good one. You got me.
Thank you very much. Yeah, shut you up.
Everyone's a bit
But,
rattled.
mate, the Rebels, that being said, we were saying they obviously need to change things up. They're obviously locking in some of their long-term guys, but they are recruiting hard, but clearly they are going hard at some serious talent, and there will be someone, you'd have to think, Dow, there's probably someone, sort of a big name that they're probably going to try and hook very sooner than later.
Yeah, 100%. If it's not this year, it's the coming year. It's probably the year after. But the Styles is down there and he's headhunting and he's looking and he's doing a pretty good job. Like, look
Well,
at
they're the
ex-
ones moving and shaking the most in Aussie rugby at the moment.
The experience he's brought in, do you know what I mean, compared to what he had this year. He's doing a pretty good job at it. So it's going to be interesting 12 to 18 months for them down there.
Man, so much movement going on, man. I reckon the Force are looking pretty good. Chase Tia.
Is he going over to the Force?
Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
the Chiefs, man. So I reckon he's just probably been riding a bit too much pine down there in the white cut door, so he's going over the Force. Mate, watch him. He'll be like Manasa Mataeli, man. Go over there and flourish, I reckon. Is anyone else blown away that Manasa Mataeli's only like 25 years old?
He looks forward.
Oh, mate.
It's incredible.
I thought he was like, yeah, I'm just going over the Force to wind the career down. No, mate, he's just starting out, man. That's so crazy.
Is Chase Tia coming over as an international player, or does he have
I
Aussie
think
links?
international player.
He would be
International
international,
player.
yeah. That would be sick. Also, Junior Wallaby squad was just announced. The Savo, was it, Zach? Yeah, just for this weekend's opening Oceania. And an entire Queensland backline bar the right wing of Darby Lancaster sneaking in. But you've got a backline that consists of Kalani Thomas, Mason Gordon, Floyd Aubrey, Tarjanar, and Lucas Ripley and Matt Greeley. Shit, man, that's a pretty deadly back line. All Queenslanders too, friends.
Yeah, how good's that?
That must get you G'd up.
And having what's his bloody name at 10?
Mason
Gordon. Mason Gordon, yeah. No, it's not. It's not his brother, but second best.
Some would say he's the better brother.
Is he?
People
I've heard a bit.
But those people are dickheads.
No, that's pretty cool. I reckon. I reckon it's pretty. Is that Tajanan good?
Yes,
Yeah.
very good.
I reckon he's got
big.
lots of potential.
He's quite
I
big.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him at 12.
Yeah.
I mean, East at the start of the year, they played him at 15, and then they moved him onto the wing the next game, and then I think he dropped out of the team and is now playing Colts.
He is,
as at 10.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that 10, 12 is like 15. I think he could go really well there, but I think 12 might be a position that he's got good size. He's got a good left boot. Mate, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I went down to, I took the family down for a walk past North today, and the New Zealand under-20s were training there. Yeah. And, geez, they look slick.
Yeah.
Really good.
Real big, too.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I was driving past too. I was like, oh, who are they? And
Yeah.
they got the Kiwis.
And they're like 19, ain't they?
Yeah.
Massive. Man, what are they feeding them, eh? But that's an all-BBC 10, 12, 13 as well when you've got Anand, Gordon and Lucas Ripley. So I don't know whether or not that combo from schoolboy days is going to play any part, but
Definitely.
Yeah.
But mate, that's a hell of a good squad.
Hell of a
man.
man.
I can't wait
Lucas
either.
Ripley, man. He's
Daniel
the goods,
Mayava,
man.
keep an eye out for him, mate, because he
He's a gun, eh?
is so sick, dude.
Who's
he is
Daniel
so
Mayava?
sick. He was at
I don't know.
Nudgee
6,
2
7.
years ago.
Last year.
Last
Oh,
year.
the lock?
Ugh. So he was last year, dude.
He
He's,
played PAC Rugby, yeah.
he's
Yeah.
huge, mate, and he's just
Yeah. I remember watching him last year. I was like, mate, this guy, how is he still at school?
Yeah, I know, eh?
Yeah.
Some of them are leaving it. I mean, in high school, I think they could possibly
B18.
be 18 nearly.
Majority of them are now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. All right, well, that rounds out PAC News. Now, joining us on the blower, the new Northampton seat himself, Lucan Salakai Lotto. Lucan, how are you, brother?
Hey, boys. How's it
All
going?
right, mate. You're right. You're right, mate.
God. Already, mate.
Sorry.
Khan, obviously you signed with Northampton, I think, for a few seasons, kicking off shortly, but you've been spending a bit of time down at Chipseywood playing with the Magpies in Queensland Premier Rugby. How's that been going for you, brother?
Bro, it's actually been pretty good, eh? I was actually telling one of the boys today, it was probably something that I didn't realise I actually needed, was to go down and play some club rugby with the boys down at Souths and amongst the culture down there, and just to see the boys just, work normal jobs and then still rock up to training early and give their all to sort of, try and make that transition to the next level. So I think for me, it was sort of a full circle moment, and it's just been good. It's probably the most I've enjoyed my rugby in the last couple of years, if I'm honest.
Awesome, man. That's
Man,
awesome.
Yeah, so good to hear. It gives you a real good perspective, hey.
Yeah, bro, massively.
Yeah, and Khan, just mate, before I ask you a question, I'll get that $120 to you probably after the show or next week sometime. Is that all right?
I knew you're gonna do this.
Now, Khan, mate, you've had 8 years at Ballymore. You were there right at the very start when they were struggling. Experienced some success the last couple of years. Do you feel like it was a good time to make a change for you?
Yeah, man, 100%. I think that's ultimately why I made the decision to head north and join Northampton. Was there was a lot of I thought about my game and what I needed to take it to the next level, and I think leaving Ballymore was exactly what I needed to do and sort of put myself in a place I've never been before. I think going over there, the way they play the game up north is probably something I need to experience in order for me to take my game to the next level, and to surround myself around guys like Courtney Laws and guys like Dan Bigger and stuff, and world-class players like them. I think it's only going to benefit my game. But like you said, 8 years at Ballymore, man, I've loved every second of it. Down to the lads and the good and bad times, and especially those tough moments early in my career. So, definitely time for me to move on. Not saying that I won't be back, but I think at this point in my career, it's something for me to experience something new and take my game to the next level.
Nice.
And Lucan, obviously, as an internationally capped, lock, there probably were a few opportunities for you overseas, not just in the UK. Was it a tough decision to end up at Northampton, or did you have many options to look at in Japan or France?
Yeah, obviously, was pretty fortunate enough to sort of talk to a few clubs around the world. I've got a family now, so I think going to England was probably the big one for me, an English-speaking country, which helps. And just the way that the club approached me, the process when I was talking to them, and the way they've been in touch and communicated to me to this day, the quality of players, the facilities they have, even the way they finished this year, came fourth in the Premiership, was probably unlucky not to beat Leicester in that semi. So I'm looking forward to heading up there, and I think it's going to be good for me.
It's friends here. Hey, I've been going down to South a bit lately, watching the missus, and before the missus plays, obviously she gets there a bit earlier, and I've been watching the big fella have a trundle, and it's actually been good watching you down at Clubland, mate, and actually ripping in, and obviously the guys will get, they play a bit better when you're there, and just seeing you actually enjoy your footy again has been awesome. To be honest with you, I got pretty drunk on Saturday. Supposed to go to dinner after, but Felipe Manu had other ideas. Hey, also, mate, one of my questions here. I'm sort of bottling this again. Hey, so obviously there's a couple of you missed a couple of the games of the Reds towards the end of the year. You don't obviously have to answer this question, but with the way I've seen it a few times with some of the pro players that, when they sign another contract and going elsewhere, what's the sort of go like? Do you think it's a bit weird, or do you think it should you should at least play the year out and get chosen for those sort of last games, even though you're contracted to somewhere else? I just think it's quite hard to watch because I thought the Reds could have used you in a few of those games, and it was, would have been a good send-off as well. But what are your sort of thoughts on that? Do you think it sort of needs to change a bit, or?
Oh man, obviously it's not up to the player. I think you ask any departing player, they would love to play right up until the end. But look, obviously, you can go two ways about it. You can go that way, or you can, obviously look and build towards the following year. In saying that, I'm not disregarding the performances of the boys that were playing. Yeah. Ryan Smith, Angus Blythe, Seru, two of those three boys in Aussie A. So, they played awesome footy this year, and credit to them. They deserve to play. Look, man, there's, obviously things happen, and you're not always going to agree with things. I'm happy with that. One thing I won't do is be someone I'm not. So, look, I'm grateful for my time. I enjoyed my time with the jersey, and for me this year, the only thing I wanted to do was play in front of my little girl at Suncorp, and I got to do that once, and for me that's the best sign-off that I could ask for.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you reckon that's sort of they're just building for that next year, and they're sort of building those combinations or whatever? That's sort of somewhat the reason why they sort of do that.
Bro, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. To be honest, I'm not quite sure, bro. I'm not quite sure. I wasn't. That's above my pay grade. So, look, I'm just happy the boys have played well in those positions. Like I said, Ryan Smith's in Aussie A, getting those opportunities. Seru, all those guys getting good opportunities, and it's probably just showed that I spent maybe a year too long in Ballymore. It's time for me to go, so I probably made the right decision.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, obviously the Reds have built quite a good core squad over the years. Do you think there may need to be a bit of a change of like the sort of coach and the hierarchy? And if so, sort of what sort of direction and who do you think would be a good fit for, say, someone to coach at the Reds sort of thing? You know what I mean?
Oh. Bro,
Geez, you've come in with loaded questions today.
I was just like, oh no, it's
I'm not having a go, but you know what I mean. Like it's they've built for so many years now. They've got to a really good point.
I know.
Do you think there should
have they plateaued?
Yeah, have they plateaued? Do you
And
think
do they
there
need a
needs to be
change?
another sort of revamp and
Similar to what they're doing at the Western Force.
Yeah.
Sort of Tim Sampson obviously built them up, built that culture, got them where they are. They've been able to see someone like Simon Cron with his credentials, his ability to sort of bring out the best in players. Do you think maybe there is an opportunity, Khan, at the Reds to maybe, like we were saying last week, I reckon personally, someone like Jason Gilmore at the helm of the Reds would be absolutely awesome. Do you think maybe a shake-up like that to be able to promote a new coach in the system could be something that could really elevate the Reds to that next level, considering we saw maybe this year they did plateau a little bit?
Bro, to be honest, I think you look at the Dorney as a coach and you look at the squad. I think that's a reflection of the player he was. When you look at our squad, the way they play, it's probably pretty similar to the way he played his rugby, which was a successful career. Like I don't think anyone's got a career that can stand toe to toe with him. So, look, I probably can't answer that question. Maybe if you ask me next month, I might be able to answer.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And
Look, it's man. I think under Thorny, we obviously won. We obviously won Super AU last year, which is probably one of the high points. You look at the squad that we've got. We boast Wallabies across the park.
Yeah.
Obviously led by Nella and Rabs there, and guys, young talents like Harry Wilson and guys up and coming, Ryan Smith and all that. So I think on our day, and I've always said this, on our day, we go toe to toe with anyone in the comp. If we are healthy, which was obviously a massive factor this year, which isn't an excuse, but I think we go toe to toe with any team at full strength. And look, I think until we see that our team at full strength, I think then we probably haven't seen us at full strength. So I can't answer that question, but yeah.
Bit of an easier one, mate. What are you looking forward to mostly going over to England, especially to Northampton?
Bro, just a change of scenery, like Dossie said, I've been at the club for 8 years. It's such a long time to be in one place. I only know what I know and only know what I've been taught at Ballymore. So for me, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of rugby that I don't know. I've been lucky enough to represent my country at the Reds, and to think that's only a small part of the world, especially in rugby. I think, like I said before, for me to go over to England and experience new things, to grow as a person, as a man, and to experience a new brand of rugby amongst some world-class players and different coaches, different perspectives, as Dossie touched on. I think that's what I'm look forward to most, and hopefully I can grow as a player and become better.
That's awesome, Khan. You're obviously, mate, you're going in with the right frame of mind, and it's going to be a hell of an experience for you. I guess just speaking a bit more technically, you talk about going over and wanting to grow as a player. Your game specifically, can you give us a bit of an insight in terms of what areas specifically you're looking to, develop and grow over at Northampton?
Yeah, well, I think you compare my game to the other locks in Australia. As a lock, I play a bit more looser.
Yeah.
I'm probably not a top 5 specialist, if I'm honest. Although I do love scrums and lineouts, I probably don't play as tight as someone like a Darcy Swain or Matt Phillip, Isaac Rodder.
Yep.
I probably like to sort of roam a bit more and probably attack more. So I think just to play those tight games over in Europe, in England, I think that's only going to benefit my game and probably improve areas around the breakdown, the contact area, and things that I have been told from Wallabies that I need to get better at. So that was obviously a major part of my decision as to why I've left.
Cool. And are you going over as a lock or a lock/6? Have you spoken to the coaches around where they're going to prefer to play you?
Yeah. So I'll be going over as both, predominantly as a lock. They've got, I think Courtney Laws is the captain of England, I'm pretty sure. He's the 6 when he's there. So obviously I bring that flexibility to a team where I can cover 6 as well. But probably more of a lock.
Cool.
Hell of a guy to learn from in Courtney Laws. very similar, I
Mate,
guess.
I tell you what,
Player,
a
second rower who can play six,
Yeah.
pretty bloody well.
having both of them in the second row, mate. That's a daunting pack.
Yeah, that's so scary, man. Well, Khan, I want to get your thoughts on this as well, because we've seen a pretty big exodus of players in the last, sort of 18, 24 months, but in particular just recently, guys like Ferguson, Warner, Ray Simone, yourself, you're going overseas. Like, there are a lot of these players that, may or may not feel like their representation in the Wallabies is at the fore just because of the talent that we do have in Australia right now. And we are seeing this relaxing of the Giddo law. Like, you're going over, you're a very well-established footy player and a Wallaby unto itself. Do you think there is going to be a change in the very near future, or do you think there should be a change in the very near future for the Wallabies to have their best players on the field? We do need to maybe loosen those Giddo laws, because at the moment, we've got Quade Cooper, Marika Korobede, and Samu Karevi coming in, but there's a plethora of other top-class footy players that we know would really make a difference in the gold jersey.
Yeah, look, if I was staying in Australia, I'd probably say, lock it up and just pick from Australia. But yeah, obviously, obviously, you can't fit. Look, if we say who's the best players, who are the best Australian players across the world, you're going to pick more than 3 from overseas. You look at the guys across the globe that are playing. Rory's obviously over there. Will Skelton, BPA just won the top 14 with Montpellier. There's heaps of talent that are from Australia overseas. Sean McMahon, all those lads. So, but I understand in terms of not wanting to, I guess, water down the jersey and still keep the value in the gold jersey high, by only limiting to 3 Giddo law players from overseas. You want guys to represent Australia. You come back to Australia and play in Australia. So I get it, I understand it. But at the end of the day, I think we all want to win the World Cup. And I think it really depends on who you ask, to be honest. But I'm just glad that the Wallabies can get guys like Marika, Quade, and Samu back, because add those 3 guys into any team in the world, and you've got a good chance of winning.
Bloody oath.
And there's been a lot of discussions around the format of Super Rugby. You've been around long enough now to play all forms. The original Super Rugby, then you had Super Rugby AU, and then Super Rugby Pacific this year. Looking forward, I know Rugby Australia is trying to play a bit of hardball at the moment, but looking forward, what do you feel like is the best format? You know what I mean? If you could dream something up in the Southern Hemisphere, what would it look like?
So I'll take it back to how it was when I first started playing back in 2016, and that was the real Super Rugby, as we all know. I've heard the ideas. I've heard the ideas of guys pitching Super AU or Club Rugby. But that's why we had NRC. I think being able to play against teams from South Africa, New Zealand, the added additions of the Sunwolves and all that back in those days. It was awesome, because it wasn't just prepare for the Rebels and we prepare for the Tars and then Brumbies. It was, you had to change your game plan up every week, and you're versing different brands of rugby every week. And I think it was just awesome, the way that the comp was back then. Not sure we can get back to that, but if I could take it back there, I would, because that's when I most enjoyed playing Super, was back then.
With your recent club appearances and playing for club, do you think there's merit in investing into club and as that next sort of step instead of NRC sort of thing? Like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I reckon if you invest in club, it's awesome, because you look at the guys that are all playing down there. There's like 2 or 3 grades where guys could make the transition and slowly build their game and eventually make Super Rugby, if that was the case. Like guys like Ryan Smith started playing 4th grade at Brothers, now he's in Australian A. Like, I think if we invest into club players, imagine how many more guys like him can crack through. Guys like Fael, for Tawika, that can crack through. Like there's a lot of guys down there, and even just down the south, we've got a few boys that down there that should be probably in Super Preseasons, George Francis, Sam Matafa. There's heaps of lads down there, and that's So I reckon, I reckon they should invest into club, especially grassroots.
So sort of saying, So would you say club is the next tier, and then work from that instead of having an NRC sort of thing?
Yeah, if it was done right.
Yeah, correct. That Sam Matafa, man, he's
gone, mate.
He's awesome, hey. He's so silky.
Yeah, bro, he's good.
Yeah, big unit too. George Francis, man, Godzilla himself, man. I love him so much.
He's the man.
Oh, mate, he's just
How's that try the other day?
Mate, how good was it?
Yeah, it was.
Mate,
I'm going to say it was
rampage.
50 metres out, but it was about 40. But I'm
It was
saying 50 metres.
30-something odd metres
Yeah.
out. Like, he had a lot of work to do, and he made it look very sexy.
Yeah, very, very good. Very nice.
Anyone? No? All right, well, Khan, thanks so much for joining us, brother. We wish you all the best over in Northampton. We appreciate you joining us and having a bit of a yarn, mate. And we'll be looking on from afar and cheering you on, brother.
Nah, thanks, lads. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Boys.
Cheers,
brother.
Khan. See you, brother. Well done, Luke Khan, Salakai, Lotto, Freeney. What the hell, man?
Sorry, man. I just...
Coming in hot.
What a man.
yeah. Sorry, I had to ask a question. It would have been good if he answered it. You know what I
This
mean?
bloke.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, here we go. Yeah, joining us all the way from I don't know where. It's Greg, all the groundsman. Gregor, how are ya?
Yeah, good, J-Boy. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Where are you? What are you doing?
Just outside the QAU offices at the moment. Just kind of putting some dog poop in the old brown paper bag at the front door.
Are you lighting it up?
Yeah.
That'll just-
So as you guys have heard that West Fields have had to be closed for the next 2 weeks for reseeding.
No,
I
I didn't
haven't.
hear that. What happened? Was that your call?
No, requires more work for me, mate. No, definitely not my call. But, however, if you guys didn't know, grass seed at the moment is quite expensive because of the Russia, all that kind of stuff. So
Ukraine.
the way I'm trying to reseed this whole field, right, is I've gone into partnership with the cafe, Pitch and Fork, right, because they do cheer bowls and those wellness bowls. But what I'm going to do is I've also partnered up with Zaki, with Razzmatazz and Chia Pets. Have you got the... There it is, Razzmatazz and Chia Pets. Because I was thinking about it.
What's happening?
So what we're going to do at Razzmatazz is they're going to supply us with a season's worth of stockings, and we're going to put them over the toilets at West, right? So when people go to the cafe and they have their chia seeds, they'll eat them, they'll get rid of them, right? And then we toss them over the field, right? We get some grass growing, right? It's all about the cycle, upcycling.
Basically recycling. You're basically...
Cycling.
It's a green club now. It's basically...
Yeah, very green. And brown, but green. It will be green. It will be green. And that's just what we've been up to. That's it.
Superfood.
So, superfood, right?
So, mate, do you think...
It's all-
Gregor, do you think
Do
the
I
field...
think in
do-
general? No.
do
You go.
do you think the field's going to bounce back in 2 weeks?
Who cares? I don't know. I just told them to do this. On the QAU, there's a minimum requirement that we have to do because someone in Chiefs might make another phone call. We're not playing ball. So, P.S. I wouldn't want to play on it. You know, it's pretty gross. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the plan. That's a 2-week plan. That's it.
Hey, can you message Das and then tell him to reply back to my message? Because I messaged Das yesterday and he just left me on scene.
Whom? Yeah, he did, didn't he? He told me that. Hilarious. Oh, man. Imagine if he didn't reply to you. How would you feel? Oh, Ebo. But, yeah, so that's it. That's a partnership. That's it.
That's good stuff, Gregor. That's real good stuff. You came on to announce your partnership with Razzmatazz and
There it
Chia
is.
Pets. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Where'd you
Chia
get those
Pets, that's
sunnies, Gregor?
The Yeah, they're my wife's. But in the full line of the car, I look like I'm actually in the McDonald's car park.
You lied to us.
Because the light in my ute, no, the light in my
you're
ute
at Ballymore.
doesn't work. Huh?
You said you're a Ballymore.
Yeah. I thought we cut, and we were just going to move on. We're just vibing here. No? Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie.
Yeah.
Has Darcy replied to you yet? Oh,
Your
man.
brother's better.
Now actually, QIU's on the phone. I gotta go, boys.
All right,
See
see
you,
you,
mate.
Gregor. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Cutting
See you
edge.
guys.
See
you
you,
guys.
Gregor. Man,
What a man.
what a lunatic, man. What a freak.
Just
Dow,
get-
you were saying before the show that you would say that Big Fat Darcy's right up there, one of the funniest
That's
guys
insulting.
Yeah.
in your life at the moment.
He really
where,
is.
Where does he rank now?
No, well, I don't find Gregor funny, but I find Darcy the guy funny.
Where would I be, Dal?
You're getting up there. What?
It's a slow burner.
It is.
It's just a bit of
yeah.
resentment from leaving brothers.
No, fuck. Good riddance.
Wow.
No, because
For me, you go up, and then you stumble on your questions, and then you plateau down here
Yeah,
again.
I'm like a Bitcoin.
And then you, you're like
Just
crypto.
rapid
crypto at
increases
the
and then just really diving.
Yeah.
Dos gets really frustrated with you.
I get frustrated
bro.
myself. You try being in
So
here,
what
mate.
what are you trying to say?
I fucking went around it. I had it written down.
You
And
even
I'm like,
had
you
it
know what?
written down.
You were
You
reading
even
it.
had it written down.
I had it written down, and I go, you know, I got this, and I put it down like that, and I just started going like the question was going like that, and then as soon as I put the phone down, I'm headed that way. Then I realised I was lost, and I come back that way.
And you asked like 4 questions in a row.
know what I mean?
Yeah. He asked a question, and we're like,
Poor old Luke Hahn's going, what?
yeah.
And I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, why am I saying that?
Just to
It's-
clarify, mate, I don't get frustrated. It's hilarious.
No,
Yeah.
but you should try and be in here, man.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't know what it is, man. Like, I was on the way here so confident.
And the
too.
thing
Like, I read
is,
the questions.
They
I'm
were
like,
good.
yeah,
They were
You're
really
always
good
like,
questions.
when we first started, he's like, I think we need to be locking in our guests at least a week in advance so we can write questions down. You're the one who teed up Khan 2 weeks ago.
I've had
You
questions
are the
on there for
reason
3
he joined
weeks.
us, and you
3
shit the
weeks, I
bed.
still stuffed it.
So good. It's so
Sorry.
good.
So good.
Yeah, my bad. And then you guys all turn on me saying, oh, that's a bit hot. Why did you ask that, Ryan? Well, before you said it was a good question. It was just dead silence, and that gets me even more nervous. And then I start talking. Oh, that was good.
See, you're funny.
See, now you're back
So
up
back
there.
of my
Back up there.
That's what it's all about, boys. I'm just joking. I'm actually going to do really good questions. I just don't want to. You know what I mean?
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, man, my head hurts.
Looks
All
like-
right.
Looks like it hurts.
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's what happened to it. All right, Hospital Cup, round 10. As we said, there were some huge results. The Doggies pumped UQ 35-14 to hand them their 3rd loss in a row. I think we're all in agreement. That's pretty awesome. Sucked in Zach. South 31, North's 21.
I was there for that.
How about it?
I was pretty drunk.
Hanging out with Flipper Martin.
Yeah, big flipper.
Mate, that is never a good start.
No,
Never a
nothing
good
ever.
start.
I walked in, I dead set walked in, and I'm like, oh, Felipe, how's it going? I was like, we were excited to see each other, and then I'm just sitting there talking. I think it Doubles Daily bailed me up, and then all of a sudden I see 2 beers come at me. I'm like, oh, okay, I have a couple of beers. Going to dinner tonight, it'll be fine. Another couple of beers, and then we had just a pile of beers next to
Yeah,
us.
mate, he's so.
And then he's like
What is,
rolling darts for me, and I'm like, I don't even smoke. He goes, you will soon. And then I'm punching
true,
darts,
man.
drinking
Yeah.
beers. I'm like, yeah. Then we're at some South house party.
He didn't message his missus either.
Holy hell.
Did you not? No, you left halfway
No,
through
Mrs.
a
Withers.
game.
Oh, she was
Mrs. Withers,
I thought
yeah.
you were saying it's like Prem's wrapped up, she runs on. You're like,
No, I was blind, and she was when I go dinner. And then I was, yeah, it's funny. Had a cricket helmet
What's,
on at one point.
What's Flipper do? What's he up to these days?
He's playing.
France, isn't he?
He's still playing. Yeah,
Oh, is he?
he's still playing.
Where
yeah.
at? Last
Oh.
time he was at Tarbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember where he
Still
is
there?
now.
I think he's still at Tarbes. isn't he?
Still at
I don't know,
Tarbes.
yeah, but he's still... He
Mate.
played 6th grade on Friday night.
Did he?
Actually,
Yeah, so
we might need to investigate that. I don't know if he got clearance.
Yeah,
I might
Huge
have to sabotage this.
yeah, I was about to say the name as well. Big Fat Das said. I won't name it because I don't want to stitch him up. But there was some pretty top grade talent running around in South 6th grade on Friday night. Apparently.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Luke
Oh.
Samoa.
Oh, all right, we'll just say his name then. That's all good. All right, Jeeps 21, Brothers.
Let's go next one.
Let's discuss this game. Dallin, the Brethren,
Huge.
30 points,
Huge
21.
result.
Massive.
Huge.
First time in 10 years you guys have beaten us at
I think since
Jeeps.
I was playing,
Yeah.
maybe.
Really?
When did you retire?
Nah, 2016.
Yeah.
But
Not
last play-
2018.
Last play for Brothers.
2018. Oh, we won a 5th grade,
Oh,
6th grade.
Yeah,
Oh,
2
fire
years
ends.
ago. That was a corker. That was so sick. But yeah, this game, Dal.
Massive.
Brothers, mate. And Brothers doing it without their big name players all coming back in the mix.
Yeah, and I think something can be said about Taylor Adams and the influence he has had on that
20s
team.
on.
you know what?
Yes.
I
Gun.
liked that combination.
Swap, yeah. me
Stixie
too.
at 10 and Taylor Adams at
Me
the
too.
back.
Frees him up a little bit. He's a great goal kicker. He controls the game well.
Yeah.
He's been really instrumental in this because usually, you know, they lose the likes of Lawson and those type of guys, and Paddy's in there at 10, but having that extra guy at that top level
Yeah.
has been really good for them.
100%.
And then Nick Cross, I also feel like playing 7, a bit out of position, but he's been immense for them this year.
He's been awesome.
Like Jeeps have, in my opinion, you might disagree here, friends. Like I thought were pretty good on the weekend as well. I thought they played some good footy.
Well, they scored, I think it was the same amount of tries.
Yeah.
It was penalties we lost on.
Correct.
And when Taylor Adams is on, man,
He's unbeatable.
especially with his kicking game, it's just like he doesn't miss.
He's a good player, man.
Yeah, he's busy.
I
and
said
he's
it at the start.
good
He'll
chat,
be one
yeah.
of the signings of the year, and I wouldn't be surprised like to see him at doing preseason with the Reds or
Yeah.
like he has to. He's shown, I think, consistently that he's a step above this level. He just needs another
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely can do a job. He can do a job for sure. He's when he's on, he's kicking. Oh,
And that young 9 from Jeeps, Hudson Meyer.
Hudson, he's good.
Meyer.
Hey, I told you he's busy, man. Like, and he's got a good pill, and he's just tough. Like,
I like him.
just he's
really
really
good.
good. I reckon he's going to go places. In my opinion,
I agree.
I think Josh Vuta left.
He did.
Yeah, where did he go?
You should be the one filling us.
No, I know he is. I know he's gone. He's gone, but I don't know where. Do you know?
Thanks, man.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
Go on. No, what were you going to say?
I watched the highlights for the Sunnybank game, but was Rowan Sarful
Nah, he got. I don't think he got cleared.
He didn't play.
Oh,
He didn't play.
No. But this was east, all one-way traffic at one stage,
Far
and then
out.
Sunnybank coming home with a wet sail. This was, oh man. Again, Sunnybank are back playing.
They're coming back.
Well, they're playing like they have so much confidence about them.
Yeah.
The last 3 seasons, they have had zero confidence. And now, like, that east side looked like they were done more than enough to put that away by half time.
Yeah, what is it? 24-5 at half time?
Yeah.
You think you
Then it
shut the
was
gate
47-20
or something.
No, 47-45. Yeah, 47-20 at one point.
And then it ended up.
And then it ended up 47-45.
Granted, a try right after the hooter, but it just harks back. Like, East, I think, when they've got Jake Pappen and
Mate,
Eli
he's
Pills
good.
together
I tell you,
have
we-
been
Is
we
he
really-
ex-brothers?
He is.
Yes.
We talk about just before Stixie and Taylor Adams, that combination, mate, that young combination at East of Pappen and Melly Drew.
Yeah.
Yes, Melly Drew,
He's
man.
got lots about him, hey. He's got a great kicking style.
Yeah.
Real fluid.
Yeah, fluent, kicks the ball long, and then when he gets the opportunity in broken play, I really like him. And I think they'll just get better as the season
They
goes
will.
on because they're both very young.
Did Pappen, did he leave just because he's behind?
Benny Moen chased him pretty hard.
Yeah, okay.
And they, you know, in the end, it went to Brothers, and Brothers said, well, you know, we've got these guys. And so he went, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
Jumped on the plane, or jumped across the
Jumped on a plane to
jumped
East
across,
side.
across the bridge,
Yeah.
and he's excelling. So
Yeah,
it's
Clem's
great
great.
to see.
Yeah, he's going really well. I think
He-
East of Pilsy coming back
huge
has made a
difference.
huge difference. And that Will Sankey.
And Asiata.
Yeah.
All three of
Oh,
them
Asiata,
have
yeah.
been immense.
Yes.
Will Sankey, he's like a Garrick Morgan.
Yes.
So big.
He's a
Mate,
big
he's
dude,
just
mate.
enormous.
Yeah.
The second
force.
rower.
He's a
So
lock
good.
man.
He's
the
just...
headgear on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Mullet.
just thick,
Yeah.
like a
Just a
thick
big
slab
lump.
of shit.
They've got a good balance
Derek
now
Morgan.
with Sankey, Aiden
So good.
Leamy, Zach Shepherd at 6, like a big line out. They've got a good set piece. Zachy Crothers will come back, which I imagine will
And
move Richie over to 1.
Van Neck.
Yeah, and I guess they'll do what sort of UQ did with Squeak and Chibba, have Zippy come in off the bench. And maybe if Brad Wilkins come back.
Well, Van Neck didn't play either on the weekend, did he?
And Van Neck's injured, yeah.
Front of the week, yeah.
He
Yeah.
got knocked out.
Yeah.
Was it knocked out or?
Well, this is the thing, though. I think it's so good to see Sunnybank back playing their brand of footy. It's so good to see East now have. I think Ben Moen has them. You could probably attest to this, Dos. They look like they're playing confident footy.
Yeah.
Again, last year they looked like the wind was out of their sail a little bit, but they look like they're having a crack like that. Melly Drew, man, he's such a freak.
He looks.
But
yeah.
they look like they're confident like 2 years ago when you guys won it. There are sides in the competition that look like they've got confidence, and they're the ones that are really starting to excel. Brothers, even without their stars, are starting to like their chance in their arm, and it's guys like Taylor Adams. The Doggies started the season a bit slow.
Yeah,
Now they're
Doggies,
looking
man.
like they're building combos, and they've got a killer instinct. Like, it seems like these confident sides are the ones that are really starting to push away from the pack. And Jeeps aren't one of them, friends. I'm sorry, man.
Well, a couple of boys are coming back. A couple of boys are coming back.
No, Jeeps are just probably.
Jeeps.
I'd say that Jeeps are probably just they're the most clinical side in the comp.
Mossy Tahiri, man, he's massive. He's very good this year. We lose Tussie, but then a couple of boys are coming back.
Like who?
Davis Tavita, he'll be coming back, have a bit of a run.
Where's he been?
He's my age. So he's just been
I
chilling.
think,
and then another guy's coming back. I won't say.
Oh, awesome, man.
Who is it? Yeah.
No, nothing like a crazy signing, but a good solid Prem's player.
You coming out of retirement again, Frank?
I'm playing in Tottenham.
A good solid.
I think Rowan Suffaloy, if he does come back and plays for Sunnybank, he will take him up a gear as well, because
Yes.
their reserve front row came on in that early on in the second half against East and made a hell of a difference.
Yeah, they don't mind to run the ball,
made
hey.
a hell of a
But that's what I
difference.
mean. It's that
When their
confidence.
tails are up,
They
hey.
have
Mate,
confidence,
and then Tommy
mate.
Lucas and that 30, man, he was impressive again.
That
Philly
centre,
Hawaii, LA.
Fairly
Philly,
wide, yeah.
Philly.
he's insane.
Mate,
Yeah.
He
this
has
is
to
the
get a
thing.
gig
It's
somewhere.
like-
He's week in, week out been the best player.
But look at like Peter Lee, man. Like
He's
he's
been
been
playing.
killing
Yeah, he was
it,
good on
and
the
it's just
weekend as
because
well.
he's on the end of this back line that is allowing him to have a crack.
Yeah.
I don't know, like. Just they're looking good. I think
They
still
are, mate, I agree.
they still need those other sort of half a dozen players that they can bring into that squad to push them further.
Yeah,
but
depth will be
mate,
an
they're
issue
good.
for them.
They're good. It's
Yeah.
good to see the Dragons back. Shoot Shield round 12. There were some huge matches here. Gordon 57, West Harbour 27, Randwick got up 33-31 against East at East.
Up the Gallopers.
The Two Blues, again, jagging another scalp, 33-24 over Souths. Eastwood going down to Warringah 19-17. That's a huge one. But again, man, Hunter 16, Uni 14, Dow.
Rob Puliavea, he's been
Mate,
very
he's been-
impressive.
He
He's leading
is
from
in
the
career
front.
best form.
Their forward pack, I thought, was pretty good. The way they dominated, and they stuck
Who's
in
their
the game.
hooker? Bradford? Is
Yeah.
it Bradford or
And then one of their hot props, is it Nick Dobson? One of their props. I
something
thought he
like
was pretty good as well.
Mate, they are just. You can't put it past them. The things, I don't know if it's what DC's done down there, but do you remember a few years ago that QPR competition for about 2-3 seasons? It was literally 6, 7, 8 teams vying for a final spot going the last couple of rounds.
Yeah.
And it meant that the whole competition as a whole was obviously so much tighter, so much better, and then as a result, all these bloody club players start progressing through to the professional setup. You're seeing it now down in Sydney. You've got Hunter, you've got the Two Blues, you've got all these other clubs.
What are
and
the two Blues on the ladder at the moment?
are they
I think they're
third?
both 7th and 8th.
I was looking at it.
Two Blues and Hunter.
Are they 7th and 8th?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of East would have dropped down to 4, Uni are 3,
Two
Manly
Blues are
Manly
fine,
is
though.
still first. Like, I don't know, man.
I tell
was
you
looking at
what,
it the other day.
the Wildfires, they're 10. He's got a huge left boot, and he's a great goal kicker.
Winchester.
Yeah, Winchester.
Yep. Mate, easy
I like
gun
the look
too,
of it,
man.
mate.
And then North's 26, Manly 22. Manly were up 22-0 at
Didn't
one
they
stage.
bottle it?
They
Bottled
shit the bed.
it.
This was hectic. Like, team, top of the table, up 22-0, 30 minutes
Easy,
in.
doing it easy.
Like, just going to town, and then Norths get up with a 4-point win. Mate,
Bloody hell.
this is the thing. You can't sleep once down in Sydney. They
do pile on points quick, don't they?
They do. That's the thing. And this is, like, it's something I'll touch on with the rugby, but the attacking footy we're seeing in Aussie rugby, QPR and, like, Sydney. Like, I think you said, Dow, at the start of the season when we were talking about what's better, QPR, Shoot Shield, and you were saying Shoot Shield's probably a closer game to Super Rugby. They typically used to be more hard fought and stuff like that. They're almost have like flipped the script and Shoot Shield now. They are some of the best attacking footballers in the country.
100%.
Like they always had them, but like they seem to be playing. They seem to be throwing caution to the wind. I don't know again whether that's you've seen what they're doing at the Tars, having a crack and going for it, but like. The score lines and the talent getting around there, the attacking talent is absolutely second to class. Second to none, sorry.
Absolutely. And the quality of football down there has just been immense.
It's been so hectic.
I think both QPR and Shoot Shield has really
QPR's
stepped
gone
up
to
this
another
year.
level this year, I reckon. It has. It's good to see Sydney Uni losing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Always.
So good seeing
Always.
the Uni side lose.
Yes.
I'm
No
not
matter
going to say too
where
much.
you
I
go.
might lose my job. Well, they sponsor both.
Oh yeah,
unis.
true. It's
They're
just
great.
so funny how like every uni side is hated. Like USC.
Because they're all nerds.
They're all gimps, mate.
Yeah.
They
But
are.
Shoot Shield are doing the best that they can to get me interested in the competition. I might have to, I'll mention that.
We'll have to get you down there.
I watched the highlights of one game on the weekend.
And your thoughts?
Good.
Nice.
Nice stuff.
They always used to have massive dudes down there, but I'm not
They
sure.
always- yeah.
I think historically the difference was Shoot Shield were that the average age was a lot older. They
Yep.
had a lot more hardened
Yes.
individuals.
100%.
So it was never a question of skill or flair. It was always just like it was a tougher
Experience, a
competition.
tougher comp, yeah.
Yeah, they always had guys who would hang around till they were 28, 29, seasoned veterans of the games. And so it was always more beneficial for a younger guy to be down there plying his trade. Whereas up here, I feel like it was like that when we first started
Yes,
coming through.
yes.
And you had guys like
Felipe
our brothers,
Manu.
like Pricey, Liam
Manu.
Shaw, Philip
Felipe
Manu.
Manu, Fully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
boys.
Albert
Yes.
Voivod.
Oli
man,
Arne.
remember him?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oli Arve. sorry.
Ave.
Yeah. And I think I feel like in recent years, the average age of QPR has gone down.
Big time.
And well, I just think Pete.
You can get a gig
I
easier
think-
now, so you can just
You can get a gig overseas as well.
I think and I think guys are more open to doing that. And I think guys are just, they're just getting a little bit impatient with waiting and waiting
Yes.
and waiting around. The pathways haven't been super clear.
Well, if
from-
you're 22 and you haven't cracked it by now, there's probably an 18-year-old that they've got their eye on.
Well, and that's
Well,
the thing.
that's what-
But it's so to see guys like Lawson and Smitty, and a couple of the guys who are sort of that mid-20s
Fial.
finally getting their crack. Jock Campbell,
Fial Fukuoka, those sort of dudes.
yeah, and I guess developing that pathway and making it a lot clearer option. I mean, credit has to go to the for Thorny,
Yeah,
and Rat, and the QRU for developing those pathways. But it seems like a realer option now, rather than looking for the next big thing.
Yeah. Well, the Premier Rugby and Shoot Shield competitions used to be that's where you pick your next best players. Back before it was professional, you're playing club footy, and when fullback for the Reds goes down, they pick the best fullback from the club competition. It's just how it was.
I would love
It was
to
a rep
see-
side.
I would love to see the Reds get like some sort of hectic buddy head coach and still have like your Thorny and that there as your forwards coach and all that sort of stuff. But I'd love to, I reckon he did a really good job getting those sort of guys, like you were just saying, those guys who haven't cracked it, and older than 22 and all that sort of stuff, getting them back into the system. But
He's
it'd
got
be
them
good to-
bought in.
It'd be good to have someone like that around the Reds, but just have just a bit of a refresher with, I don't know, Razor Robinson.
Raz Robinson will be
Razor
sick.
Robinson's the Reds next year. You heard it
Yeah, I
first.
reckon it'd be on his radar.
Your rugby from last weekend, friends.
Ask Aiden first.
Dos, your rugby from last weekend.
I'm probably going to have to go with... Oh, you know who it was?
Oh, what's that?
Did you see that try that the Norths guy scored against Souths? I think it was the fullback.
Yeah.
And he scored the try. Then, and he got up and he did a Street Fighter Hadouken to the camera. Yeah, man, it was brilliant.
Too pissed.
It was brilliant. So he gets a special mention, but it has to be Taylor Adams. I thought he was brilliant and instrumental in Brothers' win over Jeeps.
Yep. Bloody oath. Dal. Oh, no, Freeney.
No, you go, Dal.
No, Freeney. It's obviously your show. You go for it.
Oh, bit of sourness there.
Sam Mata'afa from South.
Oh, yeah.
Week in, week out, he's just been, he's sort of like a Pete Samu, but I don't know. Yeah, he just shrugs people and he's just silky too. He gets those good offloads off and stuff. I rate him.
He's been a good get from Sunnybank.
Yeah, was he from? Was that his sister who used to play the Queensland women's team? Anyway, she used to run over everyone.
No, I didn't.
I reckon it is.
Probably would be.
80% sure it is.
Dal, your rugby.
Pillsy, Eli Pills. I just think he's been instrumental. Like, they've had a few guys back at East, but he's just been a really calming influence. And, they got Lockie Kirk, who's the half. Will Kirk, the halfback. I don't think he's any slouch. Like, he's obviously a young up-and-coming nine.
Will Kirk's a gun.
Yes, playing some good footy. But so for Pillsy to come back and displace him straight away, like, he's just been immense.
Goes to show just the respect they've got for Pillsy there too, eh?
Yeah,
he's the man.
100%.
He's just smart, hey? Like
He's
Pillsy.
smart.
He's smart and
really-
he's tough, man.
yeah.
He's so tough. That year we won it in 2020, man, he played every game with a bung knee, bung shoulder, and it'd be like Pilsy's touch and go for this weekend. And then he'll play and, mate, put his body on the line. And,
He was player of the year for PAC that year, actually.
Yeah, he was going.
Got lots of time for Pilsy.
Mate, he's an absolute gun, man. Absolute gun. And mine, I sort of touched on it. It's hard to just nail down, and it's funny you both said attacking players, because it's the attacking players in this competition and shoot shield. Winchester was absolutely massive. Eli Pills, Jake Pappen was so sick.
He was
Melly
good.
Drew,
Yeah.
like we saw Mitch Trelevin spread his wings. Taylor Adams killed it. Like, I don't know. It's Trelevin.
His nickname's Treddy.
Treddy.
Yeah, he got mowed down by a prop. So I call him, treadmill, Treddy, Trelly. Yeah, it's Treddy. Just so everyone knows.
That try he set up on the weekend, it's the attacking brand of footy in Aussie rugby is absolutely ridiculous. In Aussie club rugby,
It's beautiful.
is absolutely awesome. The skill level has just gone up another level, and they're just having a red hot crack. So yeah, it's pretty much every attacking player in the goddamn competition is. Well, mate,
Is that your rugby?
That's all my rugby's, man.
Sitting on the fence, I like it.
As I do.
Love attack.
Alrighty. Well, that's another. You got something?
I got a
Friends?
bit of goss.
What's the?
I can't tell you the names, but apparently there's a few good players going to Norths next year, so fingers crossed for them.
What are we talking about? Good players from.
Like-
Jeez, this is
PR
early
clubs or
mail.
from-
Early
or
mail.
from-
I totally just forgot about it. I ran into someone on the weekend whose brother. No, it's a very reliable source. No, they're not unhappy, but they're just behind someone, and they're like Australia 20s type sort of players. Possibly going to Norths. I'm not telling you who they are, though.
Possibly.
No, they are. Can't tell you the names, though. Maybe after this. Actually, no, because you'll make them stay. No, I'm just joking.
So they're from brothers.
No!
So they're from brothers.
Say too much. Let's go, brother.
All right, with that, we'll wrap up this week's episode of the PAC Show. We know it was a little bit late. We had some difficulties on Monday, so we'll be back again Monday, 6 p.m. next week. Dos, Dallin, Freeney, Zachy Boy, thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to tune in next week. See you later.
Love you.